Hi folks, I'm the Bald Guy, and these are Bald Guy videos. Today I'm going to be looking at my Tailgator generator from Harbor Freight. It is a 6.5 amp duty generator, which means basically you're going to get 700 and some odd watts out of it at peak power. This is a 2-cycle generator, and frankly I just videoed an entire video with it, and I talked about the difficulty that some people in their reviews talk about this thing starting, and I had a little difficulty. Let me explain where we're coming from. It's the end of December here where I am. It's 43 or 4 degrees outside this morning. This thing's been sitting in a shed down here, an unheated shed, and it's been at least 6 or 8 months since it last started. And when I started my video, I had to pull 10 or 12 times and nothing happened. Then I checked my fuel tank and I had just enough to make the bottom of the tank wet. So we went and got fuel, turned the fuel cell off, and pulled it a couple times to clear it up. It fired right up. So we're going to do this again and look a little less silly. The Tailgator was bought by me. This does not provide enough power to operate multiple things in your house. It's not big enough to operate a full-size refrigerator or a freezer. It will run some lights, small things in the house. But like I said, you're limited to 700-800 watts. Let me see if it's... This says it'll run running watts up to 700. That's running watts. I don't know how much more on that on a surge you're going to get. Small refrigerator will generally handle this. You can run a lot of lights and that kind of thing, but you have to be careful. It is a 2-cycle mix, and the 2-cycle mix is a 50-to-1 mix. Now, I have chainsaws, 3 of them. Well, actually 4.5, but that's another story. Guess what? They all run 50-to-1. I have a couple of weed eaters. They run 50-to-1. I have this generator. It runs 50-to-1, and I can't think right now. I've got 2 leaf blowers. Both of them I can run 50-to-1. 20 years ago, it was very different. 25 years ago, at one point I had an old home light saw, one of those with the metal case. Good gosh, that thing was heavy. It ran 16-to-1. I had an Echo saw, ran 32-to-1. I made a decision a long time ago, and it's the best decision you'll make in terms of small equipment. Buy equipment that uses the fuel that you're already established with. Point number 1. So all my fuel for 2-cycle engines is 50-to-1 mix. By the way, 40-to-1 and 50-to-1 is the same mix. The second thing, run fuel stabilizer in your mix. Put it in every time, because when you put it in items like this thing sits idle 98% of the time. I bought this unit because we have 21 or 22 major trees here on the property, and if one thing I hate to do is to duck my head when I'm on the lawnmower. So I do a lot of limb trimming every other year. That's about how long it takes. And my pole saw is electric, so I needed a mobile way of carrying my pole saw all over the property so I could trim trees. I put the Tailgator right here on the tractor carryall, and just go to the tree I need, crank it up, use the pole saw, I'm done. This little unit is not that loud. I'm not going to try to do a lot of talking with it on, but just to show you, make sure we have it on here. There it is. Now that sounds like it's running rough, but actually that's the way it's going to run, and it always has until I apply, I plug it in and start drawing energy off of it. So it's a nice little unit. It's not terribly loud. You know, with a big unit, you can crank them up, go in the house, and that's all you hear. Not so with this little guy. It's pretty easily carried. I can pop it in the trunk or the bed of the truck. I know I take it when I do some work at my mom's with this kind of thing. This is easily transportable. And the key to this thing, basic controls are here. You have your start lever, which your gas lever, throttle lever, has run on one side. You push it over for choke, for starting. There is no priming bulb. There is one outlet on the thing. It does have a circuit breaker, so if you draw too much or you have a short. And over here on the side, there is a gas cutoff valve. Here is key. When you're done with this thing, don't flip the on and off switch to cut it off, as I just did. Now, it's fine for short duration off. But when you're ready to store this thing, cut it on, turn the fuel valve off, and just burn the gas out of it. Now, to my chagrin, I wanted to start it cold for you in the first video that I had to put by the wayside. I shook it and I could hear a little gas, but literally it was so little of a gas that on this little bit of incline where I'm at, it simply would not pick up the gas. I put some new gas in it, cleared the carburetor, and fired right up. So they're great units, and as I've said, I've had this thing for going on 4 years now, and with the occasional hiccup of you don't have gas in it, it has served me really well. So clear the carburetor when you're done by letting it run until it goes dry. Then you store the thing. Be sure you use gas stabilizer in your fuel stabilizer, and you will do well. These little units have served me quite well, and I've been surprised at just how versatile it is. One last thing, our little local church is also the voting precinct building when we have elections. And our church it's on out in the country a little ways, and of all days to have a power outage, it was election day. And I got the call and went down there, and I'm like, what do you want me to do? It's not just here the power's out, it was out all through the neighborhood. So I came back to the house, I got this little unit, set it outside the window, and ran a cord in so that their voting machines would actually work. And it served them quite well for several hours. So these are really handy devices as long as you understand they are limited in their load capacity. But 700 watts will run a number of things. If you watched my video on the portable power station, the EcoFlow, this is how I would charge it up if we were in a no power situation. I would simply plug this in, let it run for an hour, and then the portable power station would be fully charged. So a nice thing to pick up. You can pick these up on Marketplace for about $100 bucks. When I bought this, the list price was $119.95 at Harbor Freight. They would often run them at $109.95, but I waited until they went on sale for $99.95. So I've had $100 bucks in it. It's lasted for years, and you can still find them on the used market for about that. There are a few people who they think that it's worth much more than that. Give those folks a wide berth. This thing is marketed under a number of different names, but you'll recognize them by their size, and they're going to carry about 7 amps of what they're able to, 6 to 7 amps of what they're able to deliver. So I hope you're having a wonderful end of the year here, and if you're watching this in the summer, when it gets to the end of the year where you're at, I hope you have a good end of year too. I am the Bald Guy, and I hope to see you on our next video. Remember to leave us a like and to subscribe. It helps the channel.